Wow. This is pretty simple. I switched over to a new way to do notch setup after stumbling around on the other one for 3 days or more. If I had just come here first, this wouldn't have taken long at all. I would have already been flying. If ESCs with telemetry are used, either via a separate telemetry wire or bidirectional D-shot, I have mine set up both ways. Then the harmonic notch reference frequency can be set dynamically using ESC telemetry. The harmonic notch reference frequency parameter, INS H notch frequency, or the one for second notch, is used to indicate the lowest motor speed for which the ESC telemetry should be used to dynamically set the harmonic notch reference frequency. It is recommended that this is set to below the hover frequency but above the INS gyro filter frequency. Okay, I'm going to quit reading for this second notch filter. Set the INS hitch reference H notch reference to 1. Set INS H notch mode to 3 instead of 4 like I did the last time. Set INS enable to 1. INS H notch frequency below hover frequency. You can determine this by performing a gentle hover and looking at the escape telemetry data. Set H notch BW equal half of INS H notch frequency, half of this. You're done, basically. Down here it talks about slewing and how to turn that on. Well, that's basically also, I've got a H743, so that type of processor can take it. So we'll go up a little bit on the rates. And then we check notch filter effectiveness using the vibration dampening. We're going to fly it, see what the vibration is, turn it on, fly it again, see what happened to the vibration using this right here. By default, ESC based harmonic notch will be used. We talked about this, an average of the 4 motors. If you set this to 2, it will give you 1 for each motor. I'll have to decide on that. Whew, boy, this notch filter was just killing me. Evidently, this is really, really new. I'm not sure I even saw it when I was doing the flying wheel last year. There's a way to come into this and look at historic, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get started on this and see what we can do. Boy, one of the first things I get to do is this. Watch this. FFT. Goodbye. It is 0 now. Bye-bye. This comes up right here. I can go ahead and click right here and say 3. Right. Phew. So I'm going to stop this. I'm just so excited about getting rid of that garbage. It just really had me down and depressed for 3 days. But this is a new feature. This is a new thing. I've never learned it before. I learned it enough to know I shouldn't be using it in only 3 days. So it was one of the things I set out to do on this build, learn new things. I did. I learned that part of what I learned was to not use it. I know that seems silly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead off screen and set all this stuff back as if I had just got to notch filtering. Now we've already got our original flights and our telemetry data from that. So right here, set INS H notch reference to 1. That was already set to 1. We were still setting that reference to 1 with the other type of telemetry. Mode to 3. I already set these up. 3. enabled to 1. It is 1 right here. Whoops, sorry, I missed that right there. And INS H-notch frequency below the hover frequency. You can easily determine this by performing a general hover and looking at ESC telemetry. So let's see, what was that one? H-notch freak. Right here. 80. Not sure about that one, but I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. INS H-notch BW bandwidth equal half of freak. So if that's 40 and that's 80, that's correct. Now then, I just really have to determine if I'm going to set those two that way. You know, I think I'm going to go back and look at how he did this. Again, this was, I've got it bookmarked here. This was where this all started, with the same guy, except I was just trying to find a parts list like this for a 7-inch quad. I really wasn't wanting to duplicate all his efforts. Good guy. I didn't know he was an Ardu copter developer until past couple of days. And you can see here, he's got all, but see, I dug all of these out myself, or set them for my particular platforms. You'll find all of my same stuff. So I came in here, found this parts list, I ordered it, and I started watching his videos. He's got 20-something of them too. Building a quad is vertical is not like building an airplane anymore. 25, 26. I think he's actually got more than that if you go over to his page. So let's see if I can find it. I think it's right down near. Okay, this is where he set his up as ESC based. And you see right here, he's got it enabled. He's got his frequency at 60, so therefore he's got that DW at 30, 3, 1, 6, 802. You see, I'm not sure about some of these for changes in hardware that took place. But I think I'm going to choose his 60 and 30 here. Other than that, let's see, 6 and 8. These last three I'm not too sure of. So 60 and 30 and 6. Well, it's 60 here. Boy, I might not have found my problems. Might not have been able to find it otherwise. And 80. And let's see if that was the way it was supposed to be. No, 30. Oh, God. Bless your little heart. So 60 for freak. 30 for, looks like bandwidth. Probably not what it is. So 60 for freak, 30 for bandwidth. Options at 6. 6. Triple and double notches. Ew. That's where you can get into all sorts of that trouble. I don't really want to copy his build, and the main documentation doesn't tell me to do any of this, and I hate straying. This is becoming a little bit of his build now instead of mine, but I might not break as many parts. So I can certainly justify it. Schedule loop rate, not even sure what that is. A lot of this stuff I never played with before because didn't have to. 400, so we're going to knock it to 800. That's enough of a change. except I don't see 800 in this list. Values over 400 are considered highly experimental. Never mind. Oh well. So, I'm not going to get the finer control, it looks like. Servo D shot, rate 2. Servo D shot rate, 1 kilohertz, double loop rate. And what was I supposed to set that to? 2. Boy, I hate doing this when I don't understand something. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 2. God. Oh, wait a minute. That means I can blame him now if I break parts. Ah, cool. This ain't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe it is good not to have a build completely your build. Okay. So, I guess that means we're ready to fly it and check it. And I'm going to come back in this flight because I've already got the telemetry logs for the first without any of this set that I need. I've already got them. And I didn't like the way my altitude hold worked. So I'm going to come back in this right here. I'm going to reset it to 0.1. It's down at 0.5 for some reason, so we'll set it back at 0.1. Out of range. Why? That's what the default is. 0.1 then. What? Those two things are the same. And that's what that says. Come on, 0.1. It's a tenth. Oh, man. Now I agree with what the viewers said. We were talking about those value out of range. I kind of worry about them. Now I'm mad about them. That one is definitely something going on strange there. And the options are 0.1 through 0.9. Oh, man. Sometimes I wonder why I even got into this hobby. Oops. Motor thrust hover to 0.25. 0.35 is its default. Oh, I'm going to do what they say. 0.25. Trying to set this all up like it was because I didn't know that motor thrust hover was going on, so I was all over the place at the start because my throttle was wonky. Configure emergency stop. Oh yeah, I got to do that before I fly. That was just, I couldn't believe I dumped that thing on the ground. 2 tuning flights in low wind condition. Oh, this is bad. 59 degrees Fahrenheit. We haven't seen that around here in a while. And it certainly isn't going to be doing that. Oh well. Practice stabilized flight. Well, I've got a lot of stabilized flight under my belt. That's why you see me out in the backyard just, it's flying great if you ask me. It's not a big problem for me. The vertical is a problem. I'm trying to get that tuned in a little more. And there we are. So those have been changed to get me hopefully back where I can actually use this flight to both gather a log to see if the notch filters are working and at the same time set the Yikes. Motor thrust hover correctly this time. So what I will do is I will actually be coming down here to the test altitude hold function and doing this again. I wonder if I click on this to open it in another link, come over here and copy through it. No. No, there we go. Try to copy through those things here. No, that's too many extra steps. Sometimes I get an extra space in there when I come over here and put it in over here. It doesn't work. Oh, it is still set to a 2. Learn and save. I don't know if this is, oh, we did go through that one time in a video, and it says if the pilot likes or would want, he can turn this off. I don't know. So I want to take this perimeter. These are the P and the I's of the PIDs that we modified after I did my original flights. So we changed those based on what motor thrust hover had become. So in the I and the P, A, C, C, Z, I and P, A, C, C, Z, I, and if we go back over here and backspace one, we'll get them all. We don't care about D. We want I and P. And I'm going to set them to their default, because that, I guess, would be what? Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to do this in case this was how some of them got changed. I'm going to set that to the default. Man, I wonder if I should just go back and blow this all back to 0 and do everything again top to bottom. Because right now what happens was that those particular parameters affected by this. We can, whoops, let me make sure I saved those. I think I did. I do a lot of these, do a lot of extra of these. And I can disconnect, reboot. Power down, power up gives me a cold reboot, and I'm sure I'm working with what's going to be in the platform when I connect the flight battery. Now, let's see if some of those values are changed by this. Utility ACCZ, I and P. 7-inch, 6S. I don't care about these other suggestions. 4 and 3, yeah. Nope. I did change some of these values from what they recommended. They recommended this. This is flying that battery way down. I decided to just pull back a little on that. This is where the failsafe is going to occur. A lot of people do it at 22, I heard. So I did pull that back. And this is because of that previous value. Oh, it wants to change the motor thrust hover to 0.25. You know what? I'm not going to let that happen. Because that's the value that's actually being changed. So I don't see that this utility changed those PSC values. Now then, oh, if Alt Hold starts oscillating up and down, the position and velocity controllers may need to be reduced by 50%. I did not do that. I don't know when it says oscillate up and down. I don't know if it means like the motors were oscillating, a lot of oscillation up and down, or what I'm seeing. I set that darn throttle at the notch on the radio at half throttle, and when it's 10 feet off the ground, next thing I know, it's sitting on the ground. I don't think my others used to drift around like that and altitude hold. And I know my others had ultrasonic sensors on them, so from 22 feet down, they were accurate to within just centimeters. They held like a rock vertically. So this been bothering me since I've seen this. I want this to be as rock solid as all my previous models have been. Not as rock solid as the ones with ultrasonic sensors on them. I do have LiDAR here. The problem with LiDAR over ultrasonic sensors is they don't have as much distance. I do have some old ultrasonic sensors, and I think there may be one up there on the honey badger I could cannibalize if I wanted to. So let's see. I hope these are at their default still. One, yep, that one is. And what's the other one? It's the I term. Oops. What did I do there? I think I hit an extra keystroke. Oh, it's PSC VELZ. No wonder I wasn't finding it. See, there's where I get that space in front of it. So now I have to jump to the front and get rid of that space. And it's at its defaults. All right. That sets me back, I hope. That sets me back to just to doing this motor hover learn again while I do a telemetry capture to look at the notch filters. So that's the way I will fly that. It's now 6:05. I'm probably not going to do this tonight because I'm tired. After I finally figured out to give up on the other notch filtering because it doesn't seem to actually be working. I just had such a feeling of relief after 3 days of chasing this that I'm just pretty relaxed right now. I think I will just relax the rest of the night, make this video. Well, no, I'll probably just wait tomorrow to fly it. So I see this has gotten long, so I'm going to break this video here and we'll fly this tomorrow. I might not publish this video till tomorrow. It's just wanting to relax. And I also see now, had I been following that gentleman's build instead of just his parts list, I would have gone straight for ESC notch filtering and never gotten into the trouble that I have gotten into the past few days. But I wouldn't have learned as much as I have in the past few days, and for me that was worth it. All right, guys, thank you.